Today's Namaste Yoga continues our Inner Critic series and is about truth. Hello and welcome to episode 280 of Namaste Yoga. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Dr. Melissa West, and today we are in front of Trial Island here on Vancouver Island. Beautiful Vancouver Island. This is very quintessential Vancouver Island. They call it the Rock, and you can see why. Today we are asking, is that true? And today's class is all about that question, and it's all about truth. And it's part of our Inner Critic series. Thank you to Squeezed Yoga Clothing for my clothes. Today I'm wearing a long-sleeved purple bamboo dancing Ganesh top and long navy leggings. And thank you to Dusky Leaf for my props. Today you're going to need blocks and maybe a chair or a meditation cushion to sit on, and that should be good. I have a testimonial from Carrie from YouTube. Carrie says, "Thank you, Melissa. I have been watching your videos for about 2 years now, but I've never written in." So thank you so much, Carrie, for taking the time to write in. We love hearing from all the people who do Namaste Yoga and practice our videos. I even had to listen to my inner critic a few seconds ago. It told me not to leave a comment here because I'm just little old me and I couldn't possibly have anything worthwhile to say. Ha! Funny how that works. It feels good to make a different choice. So Carrie, just that comment is so valuable because you're applying the principles from the class and showing what a great student you are. So amazing. Yay. We're all giving Carrie a big hand, and I'm so glad that she wrote in. I love hearing from you guys. So she says, "It feels good to make a different choice as we practice today with some of the poses. Anyway, thank you for your gentle and generous guidance. As a full-time student, I really benefit from your classes online and enjoy your style more than any other teacher I have found so far." And she makes a caveat, online and in person. Not just an online teacher. I hope to join the membership soon. And we would love to have you as a member. You would fit in so well with our members. Just this kind of comment, I know, would get some great response and some great conversation going on our membership site. So this week, I hope to change my radio station and to remember that my inner critic is not the bad, evil part of me, but an outdated tool that no longer serves me as it once may have. Thank you for everything. So thank you, Carrie, for taking the time to leave your comment on YouTube. We love hearing from you on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, on my website, and of course on the membership site where we always have the most involved conversations. So you can go ahead and rest back, lie down on your back, and we will go ahead and get started. Although, if you are just joining us for the first time and you haven't done any of the previous Inner Critic classes starting at 276, 77, 78, or 79, then go back and start with 276. Make sure you do them all in order because we are on a very beautiful and important journey here, and the classes all build on each other and they assume that you have all that knowledge that builds cumulatively. So they're kind of prerequisites classes to this class, and in the show notes I've linked to the playlist on YouTube so you can go back and do that. So as you rest back, take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. and settle in for the 5th class in this beautiful inward journey that we're taking. And today's class is about bringing truth to our inner critic. So not God truth or universal truth, but your own personal truth. And know that your truth changes throughout your life and over time. So what's true for you now, today, might not be true for you, might not be true what was true for you before. So of course, what is true for me in my 40s is not what was true for me in my 20s. That makes perfect sense, right? So in this class, you will be exploring your truth for now and bringing that to your inner critic. So start by tuning into your physical body. And notice what's true for you now in your physical body. And then take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And tune into your breath. Let your breath go back to in and out through your nose without any need to fix or change your breath in any way. Become aware of what's true for you now about your breath. Take a deep breath in through your nose. Let it fall out of your mouth. Bring your awareness to your thoughts now. What's on your mind? What's true for you now about your thoughts? Now shift to your emotions. What's true for you now about your emotions? Then take a deep breath in through your nose and let it fall out of your mouth. And start to wiggle and stretch out. Bend your knees. Roll to your right side. And start to make your way up onto all fours. Look at that. My water's there the whole time. I was thinking it wasn't with me. On all fours, you are going to, let's just do a little cat pose first to warm up your spine. So with your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, if you have any wrist issues, you can always come up onto your fists, or you can come down onto your forearms. And then you can breathe out and round up through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. Breathe out and round up through your back. And breathe in and arch through your back. And then from here, you're going to inhale, take your left arm out to the side, and then take your left arm between your right wrist and your right knee. Lower your left arm, your left shoulder down to the ground. Tuck your chin. And on this side, you can ask yourself, does your inner critic create your truth? Does your inner critic create your truth? And I just want to give an option here in case this bothers your neck. I know this bothers a lot of people's necks in this pose. So you could even come up to kneeling and just do a twist instead here. And then inhale and come back to the center. And we'll do this on the other side. You're going to inhale, reach your right arm up. And then you can lower your right shoulder to the ground, tuck your right chin. So the back of your neck is long. And on this side, ask yourself, does your inner critic create your truth? And then come back to the center, and we're going to do puppy pose. So you're going to have both arms straight out. My left arm, because of the frozen shoulder, doesn't extend. So I might try and give some options. I think we're just going to have to imagine that my left arm goes out. But the way you're going to do this is your legs stay 90-degree angle to the ground. You're going to tip your sit bones up towards the ceiling and then open your chest to the ground, but both your arms would be out. Okay, some options for this would be to have your elbows bent. It's a little less. Another option would be to not go down as far, to use a block. Okay, so see what works best in your body today. And then as you are in puppy pose and breathing, you can ask yourself, where does your truth come from? Does it come from your inner critic? Or does it come from somewhere else? So where does your truth come from? And then to come out of that pose, you're going to come forward and you'll come back and you'll do child's pose with your hands down by your feet. And if this doesn't work in your body, you can always lie on your back and hug your knees into your chest instead. And then slowly make your way up to seated to receive the teachings for today. I'm going to show you a way to sit on your block for meditation. So you can sit kneeling on your block like this with your block between your legs. Or you could sit cross-legged on a meditation cushion or a folded blanket. Or you could also sit on a chair. So whatever works best in your body today. And we're going to do a mudra for finding perfect truth. And the way this mudra works is it's so simple. You just cup your hands with your fingers together. And then you rest it on your lap. And you close your eyes. You're going to focus your eyes upward towards your third eye point. And you're going to take nice, long, slow, deep breaths. So I don't think it gets much more simple than that. Maybe connecting to your truth is that simple too. So last week we learned that we had a choice to turn off, turn down, or change radio station KRAZY. Last week we learned that you had a choice to turn off, turn down, or change radio station KRAZY. And this week we will learn that you can hear past the voice of our inner critic to hear our truth. So now when we hear the voice of our critic, we can ask that question that one of my favorite spiritual teachers taught so well with something that she calls the work. And the question is that true? And we can probe even a little more deeply with her second question, can I absolutely know that that's true? So one of the things that my inner critic loves to tell me is that you're not kind. And so, I know Tim's laughing, but when I hear my inner critic tell me that, I say, is that true? And then I highly recommend that you check out Byron Katie's work. I've linked to it in the show notes here, so you can go and check out her book. And if you go to thework.com too, one of the things that she has you do is something called a turnaround. So then when I ask myself, is that true? Can I absolutely know that that's true, that I'm not kind? And it's not true. Because when I turn it around, I can easily find, she'll get you to find 3 ways that it's not true that I'm not kind. So, I can just go on my YouTube comments and find lots of people who will tell me that I'm kind, and that comes up fairly often actually. So I just want you to know that my inner critic is just like yours. Oh, my inner critic I got a loud inner critic. Anyway, this week I've got some great examples for you to lead you through. Our members write the most thought-provoking and valuable posts on our membership site about their critics and about, all the way through about whatever we're doing at the moment. But this week and all the way through, this week I went back to last week's class and I looked through their comments. And what I find is every week it allows us to go more deeply and understand, this week in particularly, the work of our inner critics, the workings of our inner critics. And we have the most thoughtful and intelligent members. And I'm really grateful, particularly this week, that their experiences can help all of us learn more deeply. So thank you incredibly to Janny and Hannah and Erica and Bene, who agreed to allow me to share their stories this week. So Janny wrote on the membership site this week that her inner critic spoke up to her while doing last week's class on choice and told her, "You're clunky today, Janny." Janny checked in with her body, which was feeling stiff, and she affirmed her critic's assessment. With kindness, she accepted her critic's response, and she said, "Why, yes, I am." So Janny said it seemed like her inner critic's power diffused when she acknowledged this truth. And so I thought this was such a beautiful combination of loving kindness, awareness, and choice to bring acceptance to her inner critic. And it just shows how when we bring those tools, all those tools that we've used all the way along, how sometimes they can just diffuse that inner critic that can kind of be like a toddler sometimes, that doesn't know how to say, I'm feeling vulnerable and weak right now, and I don't know how to tell you that, so I'm going to have this little temper tantrum. And when Jenny just took that time to acknowledge her inner critic, it totally diffused the situation. Bene explained in her post that her inner critic, the perfectionist and the rule maker, reared its head this week to let her know that she would be nothing without him. I love this one. Because Bene is one of the most thoughtful, caring, and compassionate mothers that I know. Bene has also moved this past year from France to an island in the middle of the Pacific, in the Indian Ocean, called Mayet. So I'm probably not pronouncing it quite correctly, but so she's made this huge move, like from one culture to a completely different culture. So that's incredible. And I've had the privilege of knowing her as a student for it's got to be a couple of years now, and I've watched her on this incredible inner journey of coming to know her true self, of navigating her emotions. It's just been incredible. So I have to ask, is it true? Would Bene really be nothing without her inner critic? I think not. Hannah, another member, has recently changed jobs from a social worker to become a primary teacher, and I just want to acknowledge her incredible courage to change tracks midlife. I don't know many people that are willing to do that, so amazing, Hannah. And as Hannah says, with that change, her inner critic has been going ballistic. Her inner critic loves to yell, she says. So this is what her inner critic says, and this is all in all caps. You're not even a teacher. You don't know what you're doing. Now, one thing I know about Hannah is that every time she writes a post on the membership site, they are filled with incredible wisdom, and I learn a lot. Like, I usually read them over a few times because there's so much richness in them. So I have to ask, is that true? Is Hannah not even a teacher? Because she's certainly my teacher. I've learned a lot from her. So I can't know that that's true. That's not true to me. Hannah's my teacher, so that's not true to me. And then one last example. Erica on our membership site, and a lot of you will know Erica because she helps to lead up all of our Spanish translators, and she's translated several of our Spanish episodes. She wrote about how her pusher and her perfectionist keep pushing her to be the perfect role model. Her pusher is really pushy. Erica must do yoga and meditation. She must listen to herself. She must eat well. She must smile. She must be positive and optimistic. She must keep moving. She must have a lot of energy. She must never get depressed. And she must be resilient. So is that true? Does Erica have to be the perfect role model? So I think by asking this powerful question, is that true? We can find out what's true for us now. There may be times when Erica has the energy to be a role model for others, and then there's times when she wants to be cared for and led by others, and there's times when she can allow us to care for her too. And then I believe there are times when Hannah absolutely knows how to teach. And then in truth, I think there are times when all of us have no idea what we're doing. We've all gone through that, where we feel out of our element. But knowing we have the choice to ask, is that true? And to meet the answer with awareness, loving kindness, and acceptance is incredibly freeing, in my opinion. So reflect on these incredible stories that Bene and Erica and Hannah and Jenny have offered you this week, and how they relate to you in your life. And that question of, is that true? And begin to form an intention for what you would like to receive from these teachings, what you would like to receive from this class, and what you would like to apply in your life. And then once you've formed your intention, you can start to wiggle and stretch out. And we're going to make our way up to standing. Okay, from standing, you're just going to stand with your feet underneath your hip bones, lengthen your legs down, reach up through your spine, and just begin to go ear to shoulder, and reflect on something that your inner critic says to you. Okay, keep going, ear to shoulder. I'm moving out of the wind for you. With shoes, all of you who are doing the minimal footwear and barefoot movement, you can put in the comments, you can convince me why I need to do that. I'm not there yet. I also walked past a lot of broken glass all the way down, so there's one of my objections. And then we're going to do chin to chest. So you're reflecting on something that your inner critic is telling you. And then you're going to circle your head in front. Something that your inner critic tells you often. You've had a month to think about this now. So now you're going to ask yourself, is that true? And then come back to center with your head in the center over your shoulders. You're standing in mountain pose. And if you can stand with your eyes closed and still have balance, close your eyes. And ask yourself, what is it like to stand in my truth? And if standing in your truth isn't happening, just notice that too. And then from here, we're going to take a step back with your right leg. Your hips are going to face the front edge of your mat. You're going to sink down through your front left sit bone and then bring both arms straight up. And again, bring to mind something that your inner critic likes to tell you. And then go ahead and let this posture fall out of your body on this side. And we'll do it on the other side. So this time you'll take a step back with your left leg. Your hips are going to face the front short end of your mat. And then you're going to sink down through your right sit bone. Bring both arms straight up overhead so they're by your ear. By your ears, both arms. And on this side, ask yourself, what's my truth? And then go ahead and let that posture out of your body. Stand at the front of your mat again. And this time you're going to take a step back with your right foot. And you're going to turn your hips to line up with the long edge of your mat. And then sink down through your front left sit bone. Bring both arms up to parallel to the ground. And on this side, ask yourself, how do I recognize my truth? And then go ahead and let this posture out of your body. And stand towards the front of your mat again. And take a big step back with your left foot now. And this time you will turn your hips to the long edge of your mat. Sink your right sit bone down. Bring your arms up parallel to the ground. Look over your right fingertips. And on this side, ask yourself, what's true for me now as opposed to what was true for me before? And then go ahead and let these posture out of your body. And from here, if you have one of your blocks, which I left up on the top of the rocks there, you can put a block between your legs and take your arms straight out in front of you. Inhale here, you're going to exhale, sit back and down really low, put your weight in your heels. You can even lift your toes a little bit. And again, bring to mind something that your inner critic likes to tell you about yourself. Asking yourself, is that true? And here, ask yourself, to what extent do you support yourself in your truth? And then go ahead and make your way back up to standing. You may even want to shake out your legs after all of those strong postures for your legs. And then we're going to do legs up the wall. So you need to find yourself a wall, which there's a lot of rock around here. But I'm gonna show you another way to do it if you don't have a wall, and describe to you how to do it if you do have a wall. So I'm going to make my way back up to my mat. Okay, so if you have a wall, you're going to put your mat perpendicular to the wall. So pretend my wall is right here. You're going to sit right at the edge of your mat. Get your buttocks right against the wall, and then you'll swing your legs around and up the wall. If you have any back issues, herniated discs, slip discs, any disc issues, what you're going to do is get a chair instead and put your legs on the chair so your knees are bent. And if you don't have a wall like me, what you're going to do is take one of your blocks. Are those seals? Yeah. Sea lions. My mics probably won't pick that up, but the sea lions are barking at each other right now. If you don't have a wall, you're going to use a block, and you just press into your feet, And place the block underneath your sacrum, at the center of your pelvis at the back, and then you can let your legs float into the air like that. This is quite lovely too. So we're just going for an inversion here. Lots of different options. And while you're here, you're going to ask yourself, do you give yourself time to explore your truth separate from your inner critic? Or do you give yourself space to explore your truths separate from your inner critic? And then you can go ahead, if you're on the wall, you can bend your knees. And if you're on a block, you can bend your knees. And then you're going to roll to your side if you're on the wall. And if you're on a block, you're going to press into your feet, lift the block out. You guys should hear those sea lions. They sound so funny barking at each other. They're like, "Rrr, rrr, rrr, rrr." That's what they sound like. Okay, move your mat to a space that works for you. And then we're going to do fish pose. So let me give you an option for this, because I know some people find it kind of weird on their neck and on the top of their head. Some people, it's not for them. So let me give you an option for this pose. You can take your blocks. This is why I wanted you to have your blocks for this class, because I was going to use them a lot. I want to do a whole class on blocks. Give me a thumbs up, leave it in the comments if you want a whole class on how to use blocks. Like I did for the strap class, let me know. Okay, so the long block goes underneath your rib cage, the high block goes underneath your head. So that's a nice option for fish pose, especially if you've got neck issues and you don't like being on the top of your head. That's a gorgeous sailboat coming in there. Okay, if you would like to do fish pose without the blocks, then you can tuck your arms in underneath your body, press into your elbows, lift your chest, and come onto the top of your head. And ask yourself, to what extent do you open to your truth? And then press into your elbows again. You'll untuck your chin and come on down. And then bend your knees. Hug your knees into your chest. Hold on to your legs behind your knees, especially if you have knee issues. And if you close to your truth, just notice that too. And notice if you're closing to your truth, are you listening to your inner critic instead? And then go ahead and let this posture out of your body. You can take one of your blocks and put it between your knees. Tim said the actual love boat is passing by us right now. So the actual one that was in the TV show. So that, yeah, if you're old enough to know that show. If not, go on the YouTubes and, well, you're probably already on the YouTubes. You can look it up. The show will seem really weird now, probably. But it was a fun show back in the day. Okay, so we're going to do a recline twist. It's true that show was good in the day. It's true it's not good now. This relates to what we're going to do now. I was trying to pull that love boat in to our show. Okay, so you're going to press into your feet, lift your pelvis, lower it over to the left side of your mat, and then you're going to take your knees over to the right side of your mat. So you're in a reclined twist, look over your left shoulder. And then come back to the center. Press into your feet. I think I forgot to ask you a question there. It's all good. You've probably had enough questions. We're going to press into your feet again. Lift your pelvis. Lower it over to the right side of your mat. And this time you're going to drop your knees over to the left side of your mat. And on this side, you can ask yourself, what's true for you now? Is it the same as what was true for you before? I used to think Love Boat was a good show. I wouldn't think, I probably wouldn't watch a whole episode now. And although the sea lions are too far away for us to give you as close up of you can see the boat here. This eco-tourist boat is watching those sea lions that I was telling you I could hear before. And then you're going to come back to the center, press into your feet, and take the block, take it out from your knees. You can lengthen your legs out long. Rest in Shavasana. If you have any back issues, you might want to bend your knees and place your feet flat on the floor. Or you could put them back up on that chair. If you have a bolster, you could put them underneath your bolster underneath your knees. And you can stay here. I'm going to sit up and read a poem for you. Okay. This poem is called True Right Now by Donna Faulds. Donna Faulds is a poet in Vermont, and she is a yogi too, from Kripalu. So many of you will know Kripalu. It's called True Right Now. Truth is true, right now, all-pervading, creative, infinite and free. I can easily evade it, but this is no practice life. This is the real deal, slipping through my hands like sand. Truth is true right now, but only if I lose myself in it. Only if I'm willing to be used by it, to trade my illusions and open to what's real. So reflect back on your experience of this class of, is that true today? And what stands out to you? What seems most important? What's the life connection for you? What did you discover was true for you now? And then gradually allow yourself to deepen your breath. And you can begin to wiggle and stretch out. And then you can bend your knees and roll to your right side. And slowly make your way up to seated. So we will finish by gathering up all the benefits of our practice and offering them out into the world with Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu. Let's make space with breath and a sigh. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to the happiness and freedom for all. Did you like today's show? If so, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel. And if you know somebody who would benefit from this series, then you can share with them the playlist and invite them to join us on this journey. I would love to... I'm really excited to thank Cornelia, who became a monthly donator this month. She started donating $11 this month, and every month. And I want you to know, when we think about these things, when we go to the grocery store and we spend $11 on something, we think, that came from Cornelia, or we think, wow, that made a difference because that comes from one of our monthly donators. That makes a difference to us. And also thank you to Stephen, who donated $150. And he sent me an email saying, I've been enjoying your yoga lessons since last summer. I started with episode 1 and just finished episode 100. So he's going to get a nice surprise when he gets to 280 and he hears himself mentioned. Eventually, I will be doing the lessons in real time. My donation is a small thanks for all that you have given me. Namaste, Steve. And so, that, again, we think about that when we love going to the consignment stores here, my daughter and I, and then that's where we get our clothes. And when we come out with our bag full of goodies and we've spent $150 on clothes, we think about somebody like Steve who's donated that money. And so we've each gotten a pair of jeans and a couple of sweatshirts and a couple of pairs of shoes. That makes a big difference in our lives and our families' lives. So thank you so much. And if you'd like to make a donation because these classes or this series is making a difference in your life, then the donation button is on this side. You can make a donation. And we appreciate all of you who contribute to Namaste Yoga, either through your donations, but you can also contribute by liking and subscribing and by leaving your comments. So today's question to answer in the comments is that true? Is your inner critic speaking the truth? So leave it in the comments below. I love hearing from you and responding to your comments. Plus, we all learn and grow together so much when you leave your comments. So you really saw that today in the lesson, how we learn from each other when you take the time to leave your comments. And then if you want support in connecting with your truth even more deeply, I have some recommended classes for you, and especially for members. Listen up, these are the companion series for this week. From the new postures and pranayama section, the 4 movements of your neck, these are all in the show notes, so you can just click on the links and go right into the membership site for this. This is really connects you to your throat chakra, which is all about purity, and this will help you to connect with and speak your truth, so even speaking your truth to yourself. I have a short 20-minute class for you called The Divine Splendor of Your True Self to help you connect with your true self, and a 5-minute class for you. So people always ask for the shorter classes, and we save those for our members. So a 5-minute class called Welcoming Now Meditation. So you can see what's true for you now, and all those links are in the show notes. So I am sending you much love from beautiful British Columbia. May your joy be as deep as our Pacific Ocean. May you be as strong as our mountains, and may you be as rooted as the trees in our forest. Om Shanti Namaste.
Melissa would love to hear your questions and thoughts. Please leave your comments below the video. Thank you for your reviews on iTunes and YouTube. Your reviews help us to share yoga and a yoga lifestyle with others around the world. If you have a question for Melissa, you can leave a voice message at melissawest.com, and Melissa may answer it in an upcoming blog.